I think we go here. I think that this is where we're going. I think we go up here and there's like one more conversation and then the invasion starts. Oh no, I think we actually... Oh well, it was a good thing we went there. Because I think you can miss getting that emerald. I'm also gonna see if there's other items around here. Yeah, Phoenix Pinion, of course. You got anything for me? Nothing there. Got an ore. Again, all these items are missable, so that's just why I'm kind of trying to take care to make sure I have everything. Ether. Nice. Pretty good. Okay, now we go to the bottom of the hill, and then we basically have to run down the tree and fight our way back up again. So this section, and there's kind of a lot happening here. I'll save one last time, because I did just get all those items before we go do the next section here. But yeah, it's a little weird. I started talking about this earlier, but I didn't get to like go on about it for quite as long as I wanted to. Is that the whole like experience of being the trans narrative is like so weird, because like I really feel like the standard like trans women who knew when they were young but didn't really have the language and like acted out because of it, that really has been my experience. And it's so weird because like we are among the most like written about like demographic of trans people. People are obsessed with trans women and like they fetishize us so much. And what took me so long, I thought I went pretty quick. I couldn't find Puck. I wonder if he went down the trunk. It's so weird. Yeah, we have so much like visibility. People still like, it's all like misinformation and fetishization and just like rough. It's just rough, you know? I think we can equip some new things on our characters here. I feel like we have new items that, yeah, look at that. See what Vivi has here. Yeah, we can do more. Loudmouth is great. Insomniac is great. And that's probably pretty good. I wonder if we could go back up and save just one last time before we do this. I know that I've been going back and forth a lot, but it's probably okay. You know, because we're kind of just having fun, you know? It's, Oh, and are we all healed? Is everyone healed? It looks like it. That's important too, of course. Okay, one last check. One last check here of the letters. One last save, and then we're headed down the trunk to progress the story and get through Cleyra. And maybe we'll try and get through Cleyra before we take a break, but we're gonna have one more fight with Beatrix where we have to steal, and that's gonna take forever. Now with the Moguri mod, I could turn on 100% steal rate and just immediately be done, but that kind of takes away from the immersiveness of playing Final Fantasy IX. To me, a large part of Final Fantasy IX is failing to steal from bosses. So yeah, we're gonna do it the traditional way. Yeah, there it is. Now we can get that treasure chest. That's pretty good. And this is not a good place to level up, actually. There's a place with where you kill like soldiers with Steiner that is a good place to level. This is just like shitty. These fights kind of suck, but these enemies are not that strong, so I'm not too worried about it. We are going to get this treasure chest that I wasn't sure how to get earlier, and Zidane got Steel Gill, which is always good news. Now we can equip this and get Bug Killer, finally. We're all waiting for Bug Killer. Looks like they have the Scottish flag as their comforters. Yeah, maybe they really like Scotland, potentially. Oh, and there's another fight. Yeah, so, I was talking earlier about my experience as a trans woman growing up like in a family that was very regressive, very cold, very religious in all those different ways. And I ended up getting kicked out like a lot of trans women do. And so for me, I ended up joining the army, which is something that was really terrible, and I could probably talk about it at length forever. But you know, I've been talking about just like how sort of niche my experience as a trans woman is, and I feel like as a trans woman who's in the military, I have just like a whole nother like level of just like insight into certain things. And you know, it was like pretty much literally hell to just like be closeted and be in the military, because I felt like I couldn't come out because of danger, and I also like didn't want to risk getting kicked out and then being homeless And like, I'll never be able to describe to people how terrible that was and how scary it was. But my hope is that like I can be kind of a visible trans person for other trans people who might be having a hard time, to just like show them that it gets better. Because like the early part of my life was so hard, but like every single day gets better. And I'm happier than I could ever express appropriately. I think like my life is just so filled with joy and meaning now, and it's all because I was able to transition. And you're just seeing like all of this shit, like banning transgender youth from getting this necessary treatment. And aren't these backgrounds so amazing? They're so good. There's a couple pieces of wood here that I'm not sure how they like are floating. Like this is just in air. But yeah, all the chuds are like going after transgender youth, and they're like fucking HRT and stuff. That's so horrible. That's so horrible. As someone who was gay cup, Ron Desantis is a monster. I don't even know the name Ron Desantis, honestly. Maybe that makes me ignorant as fuck, but maybe it just makes me like happy to not know that chud, because like I'm just sure that they're chud based on what you just said. If you want to enlighten me, here, how about I look it up? I'll look it up for everybody watching who's like me and doesn't know. What am I doing? I'm looking up Ron DeSantis is what I'm trying to. DeSantis. Oh, I've seen this person, and they're from the Florida House of Representatives. Yeah, this dude is the one who they did the LGBT the law that just happened in Florida, right? Didn't this person like had the don't say gay bill or whatever? Is that what this person did? Either way, the dude looks like a chud, and fuck, yeah, definitely a monster. Anybody who fucking is trying to take away trans rights is just like such a piece of shit and just has no idea how horrible they're making life for people. Because for me, without HRT and without surgery, my life would have been unlivable. I definitely would have killed myself if surgery was unattainable. And now that I have had surgery, my life is just a fucking dream come true. Every single day of my life is better. And it's like, they all tell you, like, when you're growing up, they're like, you know, surgery isn't magic. HRT isn't a magic pill. But it fucking is. It is a magic pill. And, like, honestly, I've just, like, embraced the fact that I'm, like, sort of the person that conservatives, fucking all like warn each other about, you know, like I am someone who considers myself like cybernetic, and I'm transgender, and like you know, I'm corrupting the youth and stuff in their eyes because like I'm just like talking about this stuff. But somebody needs to say it, that HRT is fucking magic and surgery is magic, and kids should be allowed to pursue it because like they fucking know. I knew when I was young that I was transgender, and if I had been asked or if I felt like there were options available, I would have transitioned when I was super young. And anybody who takes that right away from children is a monster. They're just horrible. They're just fucking horrible. At least anti-androgens, like blockers, like those things are life-saving, and they're like, there's like nothing wrong with them, you know? Have you heard of Chloe Bob posting? I haven't, but hey, we got Google, right? Jesse the highly... I mean, this person seems like a trans influencer of some sort. That's my guess. I don't know, the go-to person for voice training at Bob posting. Is this the person? The do-it-yourself HRT directory? That's pretty cool. Literally trans. This is a pretty good Twitter page. I'm into it. Photo of Joe Manchin in 50 years. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, what a fucking chud. Wow. I haven't used my Twitter page like at all. I'm also just gonna go ahead and put my promo shit here. If you want to check out my YouTube, if you want to join our Discord, you can do so with those links. And we really would appreciate you. Their HRT directory has helped over 500 people get help. That's awesome. That is so cool. It seemed like a really cool setup. I forget if I talked about this on the stream before, but I'm a phone talker. Like, nobody in the world nowadays is a phone talker, but I'm a phone talker. Like, I could just go on, and none of my friends like the phone because they're part of the 21st century and no one talks on the phone anymore. Like, even text messages feel like they waste people's time at this point. So no, none of my friends like talking on the phone, but I do when I'm running, and I pester them, and I'll just call them and I'll be like, hey, I'm running, let's talk. And like, if they're driving, they'll like talk to me or something. But anyways, I could just talk forever, and so like having people in Twitch chat to like talk to, it's just like so fun. This is a pretty rough part of the game to be trying to do like trans talk. I feel like I've been doing a really good job of it, to be honest, but it is like a rough part of the game to try and talk about being trans, because I just want to talk about the game because this is just such a pivotal part of the story. And this is kind of like the equivalent of like Aerith dying, I feel like, in Final Fantasy IX from Final Fantasy VII to a certain extent. It's not exactly like that, but it's kind of like, oh my gosh, this was brutal, did not see this coming. It's when the game sort of like really takes a turn towards more darkness, because that's one of the beautiful things about Final Fantasy IX that I've said and that I'll keep saying, is that it's very cartoony and like it's a light-hearted game, but it's actually very serious too. There's a lot of intense themes and there's a lot of dark shit that happens in this game, and that's kind of why I like it. It's like a very deep game, but it's also cute. And it's like genuinely cute. It really is just something else. I've really never played anything like it, except for it, of course. But this Moguri mod too is just like blowing me out of the water. It's so good. It's like playing a new game. It's like playing a remastered version of the game. I can't believe I played the first several hours without it. It's really cool. It makes the not modded version like kind of hard to look at now because it's so much better looking. I like went back to the old font and the old retro style, and it was just like, oh my gosh, it's night and freaking day. And so we're gonna get to the next save point, and then we're gonna break so that I can go to the bathroom and smoke a big fat bowl of ganja, and then we'll come back and we'll play some Final Fantasy more. Maybe we'll listen to some Terrence McKenna. I've also thought about playing other lectures, because like playing lectures and responding to those has just been a really fun thing. Fuck, I think I chose the wrong thing there. That sucks so much. I just fucked that up. That sucks. I think it's almost worth it to restart there, to be honest. Yeah, those are interesting talks. I really want to do this right. I mean, there's always time in the future. Oh, hey, great. Look at this. We could get another shot right here. I don't, however, well, we know it's the other option. We know it's the other option here. So we'll go ahead and just choose the other option to start. We'll head to the right. So you get like some pretty good items if you choose all the correct directions here. I think we have to go up, literally. Excuse me, have you seen my husband? I haven't. Oh yeah, I definitely need to look up the directions here in order to ensure that I choose the right stuff if I'm going to. Yeah, I mean, he definitely has a cult following. Like, there's a lot of people in like alternative circles who definitely worship Terrence McKenna, and he was like a very legitimate publisher who like wrote like lots of books. He wrote the Magic Mushrooms Grower Guide, Magic Mushroom Growers Guide, which is like a very famous book, and it's like the go-to treatise on growing mushrooms, which is just like amazing. And that was Terrence McKenna and Dennis McKenna who wrote that, and they just did so much good work. It's just like really amazing. Okay, so here we go. We are going to go to the right. The ice brand is what we are trying to get in this one, but it's actually less of a rare seal than the last one. We are going to go right, and then we're gonna head up, and then we are going to go left, and then we're going to cross the bridge to the right. Okay, I think that we got this here. So I think we're gonna go to the left here. And so when you get to the top, if you save everybody, you get some good items. Moving forward, I think the next one, we go to the bridge to the right, which will probably make sense when we're there. Which way now? The bridge to the right. Alright, doing pretty good. I think that this is the last or the second to last fight that we have to do before we get into the next boss fight. And so that should be pretty good. We've been talking about transness tonight. I've talked a little bit about my experience. Oh, you'd always want to do YouTube and other similar forms of content, but you felt so self-conscious about your voice and whatnot. Aw, I like your voice, Grumpy. For what it's worth, I'm self-conscious about my fucking voice. I'm super, like, I mean, my voice, just to be frank, my voice makes me suicidal still. Like, just being honest. I mean, I'm not gonna hold back. This is my stream, and like, straight up, my voice to this day makes me suicidal. And I mean, other things do too. But, you know, like, I totally get it. I totally fucking get it. But your stream, your voice doesn't bother me, and I like your stream. It's chill space. But I get that hearing someone say that they like your voice isn't necessarily gonna help, because fucking obviously people have tried saying that they like my voice and it doesn't make me like my voice. Yeah, see? Yeah, I like your voice as well. I have a unique voice at the very, very least. And I'm also blessed that I had like kind of a naturally like androgynous voice in a certain way. I was always like a higher pitched voice. I'm self-conscious too. And I'm not just self-conscious about my voice, I'm self-conscious about like everything. I mean, my appearance and like my opinions too, like honestly. But you know, I think we just have to take that jump. Like, if you're gonna stream, you just have to jump into it, obviously, right? Okay, on the next stream, tell them to cross the bridge to the right. 3 soldiers sacrifice themselves to your party. You'll end up at the lawn. Okay, so I don't know. I think this last option literally doesn't affect anything, but I'm gonna say we're not safe yet, because that seems like the smartest bet. Yeah, I think it's pretty too. The whole town's pretty and everyone's so nice. Oh, isn't that just heartbreaking to read? The whole town's so pretty and everyone's so nice. And part of why I like that is that it's not just Zidane passively like saying that about the town. Zidane like really means it, and Zidane like loves these people, and it's like is so noble. I want to protect the town and I want to protect you. And Zidane is such a noble and good character. So cute. It's mostly my not being able to pronounce R's for me. I've always tried to expand my vocabulary so that I don't have to use them. Well, that's a funny and good strategy around not having to pronounce them. But I actually also was in speech therapy when I was younger, because I had the same problem with things like ha, just having that WR sound. And the word hard was very difficult for me to pronounce, and it's actually part of the reason now that I speak in the way that I do. I speak in a very particular way where I especially try to enunciate almost every syllable that I say, partially because I've worked with so many disabled people and people from other countries who don't speak English very well, so I try to speak as clearly as I possibly can and slowly. But it's also from my philosophy degree, because I want to speak succinctly and articulately, and so I really try to say everything I can as clearly as possible, and I think slowing down has made it easier. But honestly, sometimes I still say things like hard instead of hard if I'm speaking like very quickly, or if my mouth is very dry. Sometimes it's hard for me to like get my mouth to make that noise exactly correctly. Yeah, I get being self-conscious about that for sure. It sucks. Just being self-conscious in general is just such a shitty feeling. It sucks, and I think we're all a little bit self-conscious. I mean, everybody must be. Oh no! Everybody's getting kicked. We'll finish this, and after we do this fight here, we're basically gonna give it... Oh yeah, yo! It's fucking Sir Fratley here to the rescue. Oh wait, but right now it's Stranger. What are you buying, Stranger? You shall fall like leaves in the wind under the force of my blade. Sir Fratley. One of my friends loves Sir Fratley and Freya and this character's romance a lot. Crimpy Coffee, do you use a thesaurus? I find it priceless. When you look up a synonym, read all of them. They manage to stay with you. You know, I know that comment wasn't directed, what are you buying? Yeah, I know the thesaurus comment wasn't directed at me, but I had this like English teacher who was so influential to me, and I still think about them all the time. And one of the things they said to me that like kind of inspired me to pursue philosophy is they said there wouldn't be 2 words for something if they meant exactly the same thing. And hearing that like always made me really like curious about the meanings of words, and I've always like had it be like a game to like sort of figure out what's the difference between these two words that mean like such a similar thing. Anyways, that's sort of random, but that's what popped in my mind when you asked if Grimpy uses a thesaurus. Okay, so we're gonna get through this. Now run. Sir Pratley, we owe you one. Freya knows who it is. Sir Pratley, I've missed you so much. I began my search for you immediately after you left Bermesia. Where have you been all these years? To what corners of the world have you traveled? My dear Pratley, I climbed the highest mountains only to hear rumors of your victories. I searched the deepest valleys only to find your footsteps, but I never found you. In the end, I heard something unbearable. Freya, you say? I believe this is the first time we've met. Oh god, that's heartbreaking, right? What did you just say? Sorry, but I can't remember you for the life of me. Freya! Freya! Effin' Chet for Freya. Oh my god, no. I'm sorry, but I can't remember you for the life of me. Sorry, but I can't remember you. You can't have forgotten me. I'm Freya. I'm Freya, bitch. Man, I used the thesaurus a lot when I was younger. No joke, thesauruses are pretty sweet. They're pretty good. They're pretty good tools. I'd say they're good tools or like good references, good resources. What's another synonym for helpful? Do you remember me, the king of Bermesia? Not at all, I'm afraid. I'm too fucking big for my britches. I don't remember anybody now that I'm this big world traveler. Impossible. Have you forgotten everything that's past? Let me ask this. What brought you back to Bermesia? As a matter of fact, I'll tell you. Oh yeah, Puck found fucking Pratley. Forgot about that. His faint memories of a dragon knight brought him back here. Yes, I was once called that, but now that's all I can remember. I must go. Peace, Pratley. It's good to see you. Freya, aren't you gonna follow him? No. I'm happy simply knowing that he lives. I'm sorry, Freya. I'm gonna go after Pratley. Peace. Wait, Puck, I haven't seen you in ages. It's literally Puck's dad. That was Puck? What happened? Look at Quinna just fucking vibing. Quinna's just chilling, yo. Quinna just is thinking about frogs. Only to discover he can't remember who I am. What a tragic story, though, for real. God. Sucks. Purple paper hippo. I love your name. How cute. And I love purple. It's one of my favorite colors. It's kind of the color of my hair, even though it's fading. Really appreciate you dropping in the chat. Hope you're excited to watch some Final Fantasy, hear some trans talk, and you know, maybe soak up some vibes while we're at it, you know? It's such a good color. I could kind of tell because it's in your screen name, of course, but you know, I don't like to make assumptions. I try not to. And right now we're doing pretty good in Final Fantasy. We've saved everybody in Cleyra, even though saved is not going to be very accurate soon. But of course I don't want to say spoilers just yet. I don't know if you played Final Fantasy 9, but it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's definitely my favorite Final Fantasy. And I'm kind of talking about transness in Final Fantasy. I'm also talking about just the story of Final Fantasy as a whole, and just sort of my thoughts on the characters and the plot and the meaning about things, while also just sort of doing a traditional run. I'm just sort of following my heart and playing the game as I feel like it. And tonight we're talking about transness. I've talked a lot about my experiences growing up in transness. I also recently started a new job at a local high school. It's my first time working at a place where I'm totally stealth and trans. Nobody there knows that I'm transgender. My name is legally changed. And it's been quite an experience. It's pretty, like, scary, frankly, being in a position where, like, I can never tell whether people, like, suspect or know that I'm trans, and then like I worry about like repercussions if people do find out that I'm trans, of course. You know, right now actually something that I'm dealing with on the trans front that's like mind-numbing is that my legal name change is mildly recent. I only actually had my name changed probably like I don't know, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago at this point, that's a pretty long time, but it's still mildly recent in the grand scheme of things. And my old workplace, I recently quit, like probably like a couple weeks after my name got changed, and I quit for a whole bunch of different reasons. There was a lot leading up to why I actually quit that job, but ever since I quit, they still haven't changed my name, and like it's kind of making it hard for me because like my insurance is like still under my dead name, and I recently had surgery, and so I have like medical bills, and like certain things are in my real name and certain things are in my dead name. It's all just like a mess, and it's all just like the mess that society sort of forces trans people into, of course. And it's like if you complain about it, you just feel like you're like that complainy trans person. But that's just life, right? I'm trying not to complain too much. I am answering questions. I don't know if you have questions about the trans experience, but if you don't, that's okay too. I could just wax poetic about like what has been going on for me and my life. You know, I've had a very unique relationship with sort of gender and with life. I've had a very interesting life because of just the intersection of experiences that I've been at. I was sort of the classic homeless trans person, and I managed to get through a military enlistment, which is how I paid for college. And when I was in school, I studied music and philosophy, and you know, I still love those things very much. Typically on the stream, all the music is music that I have played or written. You have a couple trans friends and you've seen their struggles with being accepted. It's really messed up how some people treat other human beings. It really is. And you know, one of the things that I've talked about before on the stream, and that I talked about earlier tonight even, is that, you know, being trans is a really unique experience in the way that there's a lot of highs and there's a lot of lows, where like for some things being trans is like the worst thing ever. I mean, like you worry about not finding a partner, you worry about bigotry and about how it affects your career, and of course you worry about your family. There's so many. We didn't get the rare item, but honestly, I just don't care that much. Like, the rare item that we get is called the Ice Brand, and it's really not that good. We can make it pretty soon in the game, so I'm just not going to stress about it. We're just going to continue forward. Anyways, so one of the weird things about being trans is that it's just got these super high highs and these super low lows, where, like, a lot of us are so depressed about dysphoria and really depressed about the state of the world and trans rights. But then at the same time, through hormones and through surgery and through just support and love, like, we are people who get to have our dreams come true. You know, I'm living the life that, like, I wasn't sure I would ever get to live. And I mean, so many trans people pray that like they'll get to wake up as themselves, and now I'm just living in that reality. It's kind of trippy, honestly. It's trippy to be living in a reality where like what felt like it could only be a dream actually does come true. It's very surreal, and it's just strange. And life as a trans person is already so hard, but I'm also living like multiple lives, because I have like my standard me, which is like my life, and then I have my streamer life now, where I'm streaming, and that's like a certain part of who I am, and I say certain things and I present myself a certain way. And then I have my day job at a high school, and like I can't quite talk about like gender or like politics the way that I do on stream there, and so that's like a different part of me. It's like, so I feel like I'm balancing several lives, and that's the end of Cleyra. I'm sorry, Cleyra, you were so beautiful. We loved you so deeply, but now you are going the way of all of us, and your time is nigh. Odin is coming down on their horse, and they are going to fuck up your shit, unfortunately. I am going to be going on break soon, I'll throw it out there that I am at 48 of 50 followers that I'm trying to get. I'm trying to hit my 50 followers, trying to get that affiliate status that most Twitch streamers are trying to get at. I think it says 49 on my overlay. I believe that's incorrect. I think I'm at 48 followers, but any support is greatly appreciated. You can check out the Discord that I posted earlier or my YouTube for more content. I plan on posting a lot of edited VODs. You're so close. I saw you on Ched Discord. I know I am really close. I'm getting there. And you know, I think that like in time that the stream should just be like pretty good, just because like I feel really committed to persevering and just doing it often. So I feel like there's no way it can go poorly. I feel like right now I am trying to like sort of piece everything together, but then when it's like really gonna get super good is gonna be during the summer, because right now it's May, of course, we're about halfway through May, and in about 1 month from now, since I work at a high school, summer vacation is going to start, and I will be working at summer school, but it's basically about half time. And so I'm basically just going to be working a part-time job and then just streaming like constantly outside of that. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to be doing a lot of different content. One thing that I'm really excited for is that I'm planning on doing a series where I stream Don Quixote, the book Don Quixote. It's my favorite book of all time. And I want more people to be like interested in Don Quixote just strictly because I want more people to talk to about it. It's actually like a very trans-positive and a progressive book that was written in 1605, and then the second one was written like around 10 years later. But like I could just talk about it forever. You never heard of it, but you love reading. I bet you have heard of it, but that you just don't know the book off the top of your head. It's like one of those types of books. It's the story about the person who fights the windmills. Yeah, the Man of La Mancha. Have you read it, Grimpy Coffee, or are you just familiar with it? It's my favorite book of all time. I've only read it through all the way once, but it was just the most incredible read that I've ever had. And I want to do it on stream in like hour-long iterations, maybe. Because the way that I did it was that I listened to the audiobook and read the text at the same time. And so I'm going to do that setup on stream, except I'll pause the audiobook every so often just to talk about the story, maybe explain some of the more convoluted jokes, and also just like talk about my own reactions to it and sort of tie together the disparate parts of it. You read the first little bit, but then you got swept up in a series of books that you were reading at the time. Yeah, it's definitely a book that like takes a long time to read for sure. It took me about 4 months to get through it, and so that's one of the reasons I thought it could be cool to do on stream. But Don Quixote, I just think it's one of the most magical texts. For me, I'm going to write this in chat because it's like kind of hard to understand sometimes, but there's a book called the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is my favorite text of all time. It's the middle of a book called the Mahabharata, which you might have heard of. And other than the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata, Don Quixote is my favorite book. Those are probably my favorite books, but Don Quixote is right there with them. It like feels like a holy book to me just because of like how special it is. If there's a Moogle here and that we can save on board this ship, then I'm going to. But if not, we'll just save in the next section that we get an opportunity to. I was actually planning on taking a break already, but I've just been like talking and like having a good time, so I haven't gone on break yet. But we probably should soon. I might actually just have to end the stream, honestly, because we're like at 9:15 right now, and I do need to go to bed at a reasonable hour for work tomorrow, so maybe actually at the next save point we're just gonna raid and call the stream for tonight. But it was fun. It was like a good stream. It was a lot of fun. I feel like we said some good things and some cathartic things, and we also made some progress in Final Fantasy here. We're gonna get to a little bit more open world sections soon, and that's pretty cool. You know, maybe we will come back and just do a little Terrence McKenna. That would be pretty fun to do, just like a little bit of Terrence McKenna when we get back, because like it's just so off the rails. It's so goofy and like amazing. So maybe we'll just do that a little bit, but before we do anything, we'll get to a save point, and that's when we'll sort of make our decision. Yo, it's Sophie. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, crazy lady. Hi, Sophie. Thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate you visiting us for a second night. We're playing a little bit of Final Fantasy and actually pushing the story. And you know, I'm actually being like dramatically less crazy tonight. Tonight, everything that I've been saying has been rooted in reality, which is very different than a lot of the things that I say, as you are aware. You say a lot of things that are rooted in unreality. In other words, bullshit. Artful bullshit. No, I'm kidding. You know, I mean, I'm kind of negging myself a little bit because like I do think I say a lot of good things, but I also like to jest sometimes, for sure. Boyfriend went to sleep, so you're now here. Well, hey, this is a great place to be when your boyfriend is asleep, I think. Good a place as any if you're gonna be on the ever-expanding global internet digital universe that we are a part of. This is a good place to do it. And there's our Moogle. Unfortunately, Sophie, you are joining us at a weird time because I was considering stopping altogether, but I think I'm gonna keep going. And I was actually thinking about bumping up the weird notch a little bit. So maybe you're kind of into that anyways. I was thinking about turning on some more Terrence McKenna and like pushing the story just a little bit because we do have a good place for farming coming up. So that's really convincing. So I think we will. I think what we're gonna do is right here, we're gonna finish this magnet thing. We're gonna grab this letter that we're gonna give to Mudon. See if there's other letters. There aren't. We're gonna save. Right after we save, we are gonna BRB. That's not the only reason that I want to keep going. There's a bunch of rationale, but I think we are gonna save, and we're just gonna BRB. And when I get back, we'll do some Terrence McKenna and push the story forward because there's a really good spot for grinding coming up. And so we're gonna pause the game. We're gonna go here. We're gonna turn on the playlist. All the music on this channel is my own piano playing and guitar playing, so if you like it, you can find it on the Discord. I actually have a link where you can download all of the music that I play on the show, although some of these recordings aren't the best recordings ever. But let's see, what is this that we're listening to? This is Claude Debussy. This is Claude Debussy's Sarah Bond. Very beautiful piece of music. So that's what we're listening to right now. Not sure what's going to come on next, but we're going to go to the BRB screen. Thank you all so much for being with me. We're going to go on a 15-minute break here, and I will see you shortly. And we're going to do some cool stuff when we get back. Very much looking forward to it. Hope that I will see you soon. And yeah.